Today on the channel, I'm going to show you how to play Unchained by Van Halen. Unchained, probably one of the funnest Van Halen songs to play in the entire catalog. It's Fair Warning, which is one of my favorite Van Halen records. Lots of great guitar work on this album, and this song is chock full of really cool riffs. It's not that difficult to play, other than the syncopations are a little bit weird, and there's some slippery stuff in the solo. So let's take a look at it. We'll start off with the introduction. The introduction is very similar to the main lick in the song, but it's different. And a lot of people play this thing incorrectly, myself included. I had to relearn this a long time ago because I played it wrong for so long that I never realized I was playing it wrong until I listened back to the record and said, there's something different there. So check it out. I'm going to play the very beginning for you, and then I'll explain it in detail. Okay, so that's the first phrase in the song. Now what I'm doing is we're playing a bar chord. This is we're doing a D bar chord, and we're doing this suspended 4. So Eddie loves these suspended 4 chords. You can hear them all over Van Halen's. Lots of suspended stuff in all the Van Halen material. Stuff like that. So what we're doing is we're taking the D chord. By the way, I'm in E flat and we're in drop D tuning. So this low D is just like this D. So the whole guitar is tuned to E flat, and the low string is D flat. So when you play a D chord, it sounds like that. Okay, so we're going to play D, and he hits this low string 5 times, like that. I'm sounding like Rick Beato, like that. So that's the key to getting this intro right, is 5 chugs on the low D. Then it goes. So, and then the C chord is syncopated, like off the beat, so it goes. So what I'm doing there is I'm playing the same chord shape and on different frets, on the 1st and on the 3rd fret. The tricky part comes in the syncopation. So you've got 5 chugs on the low D string. Then so you got to get that down. Then the second part of that lick goes, and it only does the low D 4 times. So it goes. So what I'm doing there is I'm going, and I'll put the tablature on the screen. So I'm on the 10th fret, right here, which is the 8th and 10th. And I'm playing a C there. So Eddie loves to do the kind of like we hear in Dance the Night Away and a bunch of Van Halen songs. So we're doing. So after we do 2 low chugs right there. Hardest part of the song right here, this intro. It's before anything comes in, any drums, any singing, and that part has to be right. It sounds like Van Halen starts the song offbeat, and then when the drums kick in, it becomes normal again. So one more time. He plays the second time through that straight. He only does 4 chugs after the first D. So all the other chugs in the song are just 4. The first one is 5. Then it stops, and then everything comes in. One thing I'm not talking about is Eddie's use of the flanger. And so when he goes, he clicks on the flanger and it gives that sweeping sound. So trying to get that flanger setting right is pretty key to this song. We're not going to talk about flanger settings. You just have to dial in the sound that works for you and just hit it every time he hits that low D. One more time, we're going to do this introduction. Remember, we're going to do the D. We're going to chug 5 times. Then syncopate twice. Then so if you notice the second time through that intro, it doesn't do that syncopated C chord like it does the very first time. All right, so that's the intro. Now during the drums and the bass, when everything comes in, it's just 4 chugs on each D when you switch. Now during the verse, he does a riff and it goes. One more time. So what I'm doing there, and I'll put this tablature on the screen, he's going. So we're in drop D. So keep in mind that D is the same note as your low D. So he's going. Kind of like No More Tears. So I'm going. And then this chord, basically he's going. So if you want to think of it from a chordal structure, he's going. It's just like the chorus part, but he plays the rhythm different. So he's going. He's going. So this is he's outlining the chord shape of this B flat chord, but he's going. So his chord sounds like he's putting the major third on top of this B flat chord. So he's just replacing this note with that major third. So it goes. One more time. He's outlining the C chord with those 2 notes. And I'm sliding in. You can do this a lot of different ways. I mean, rhythmically, you just got to find the pocket and find the groove, but that's how I hear it. And then he goes up to an F, and then a C. Or you go. So all together. Now this part is really weird, and the syncopation is what gets you, kind of like the intro. So the part where they go, "But you never miss me till I got a Fat City address." So what he's doing there, he's taking the two middle strings, the D and the G string, and that's basically a G chord, but it's played with just two strings. So the first part goes, that's when they sing, "But you never miss me." And then I go, so in slow motion. So what he's doing there is he's going. Then he goes up a step. And then he goes. So remember, in drop D, you can take your finger and play on these top two or bottom two strings like. So he's just going. So that pre-chorus part, I guess, is what you could call it. One more time. Back to the chorus. So that's the chorus. Now it's going to go to that middle part where it breaks down, and Dave says, "Hey, hey, hey, what do we have here? Take a look here. That suit is you." So after the chorus, it's going to do that. He just goes down to an A on the second fret, and you're going to want to roll back on the volume of your guitar, because Eddie rolls back in this part like he does in a lot of songs. Eddie uses his volume to control the gain. So you can either be balls out, or you can be. So after he does he rolls down a little bit on the volume. Now Eddie loves pedal tones. What I mean by pedal tones is he likes to take a bass note like this and play different chords underneath that A pedal tone. And Mikey will just be playing this A, and Eddie will play chords under it. So what he does is he takes this D chord and he takes this, he takes these three fingers here and he makes it go, or you can go, I like to separate it, and the bass is going. So after he goes A, and then when I use these three fingers, it lets me keep that A pedal tone open, and I can play that low A with my thumb. So I'm playing the D sustained with that bass note on the A. And then he goes. So what he's doing there is he's going, that's a G chord, he's playing the two middle strings, and he hammers back onto that A. And then he goes back up to the sustain. What I hear him doing there is now Eddie was probably just noodling around in the studio playing between this D and the G and the A. So he went, that's an A inversion, that's a G inversion, and the D. Cool. All right, tips for the guitar solo. First of all, Eddie's solos are really hard to replicate because he had such a unique style, but I'm going to do my best to give you the best demonstration of what I hear Eddie doing on this song. So he kicks on some chorus, and the first part of the solo, he hits the G string on the 5th fret, and then he hits the 4th fret on the G string. He does the whammy bar dive down, and then he goes up to a tapping lick, which is on the 7th, 10th, and 12th. And then it sounds like he goes like on the low A string. Now Eddie comped these solos together, him and Don Landee, so this solo was overdubbed, and it was a combination of a bunch of leads fit together. It wasn't all one take. You can tell when you hear this solo that it was probably like 4 or 5 takes. So after the harmonic, all right, and then he goes up to a, and Eddie a lot of times will go, he'd use his bar a little bit to give things that kind of out of tune sound, but so what I'm doing there is I'm playing up on the 15th fret and the 18th, and I'm pulling off. Now this is close. It's not quite right what he's doing, but I mean this is what I do live, and it's very, very similar. But he's like, and then he goes up to the A minor scale, or the A minor pentatonic, because he changes keys in the song. And he bends up to that D. So he's going. Think of it like a Chuck Berry lick on the A minor. So I hope that helps. Harmonics. Something like that. Sorry if I'm moving my camera. And at the very end, when they're doing the all that stuff, he does an overdub. This solo is very Eric Clapton. He's got a lot of weird bluesy Clapton, not weird, but traditional Clapton style pentatonic licks in it, but he adds that whammy bar and bend. His vibrato is so Eddie, it doesn't sound like a blues pattern. So and Eddie dabbles with major minor at the very end of this song. So he's taken this pentatonic D. Well, I'm down to drop D. So he's adding this major third in there. So I'll put the tablature down there for that, for this pentatonic scale, but with the major third in parentheses, so you can dabble along with going minor, and then major would be. Very Mixolydian. Cool, so that's Unchained. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. And I'm trying to do a new Van Halen lesson or tip or trick every Friday now as part of my mission here on this channel, to help you guys learn new licks, new riffs, and share some of my experience, some of my knowledge, and hear back from you guys in the comments. I'm loving the community and the interaction, so keep watching. These videos will keep coming, and I appreciate everybody. Have a great day. See ya.